Welcome here on the campus of Indiana University South Bend, here on the Regional Radio Sports Network, here in the Student Activities Center, where we'll have IU South Bend women's volleyball. We're also going to have women's and men's basketball throughout the course of the 2025-26 school year. But that's not the focus for today. Today it is Indiana University South Bend Women's Soccer Media Day. And of course, as always, you can catch every single home Titan women's soccer game, which will be over at Newton Park in Lakeville, Indiana, right here on RRSN.com. And to my left here, the man who has been the absolute perfect one to lead this team to the continued success that he's gotten. That is the sixth-year head coach, Bobby Barnes. And Bobby, as always, looking forward to another season. But I always say sixth year, but let's be honest, because of the COVID year, and then honestly, at least with one, maybe even 2 years, it really feels like you're 3 or 4. But tell you what, how do you feel about this upcoming season? I mean, it feels like every single year another step continues to be taken for your program.
No, it's been a nice progression. I think the neat thing is, as a program, I've had some tremendous athletes come to us, and we would love to have 10 or 15 each year, but obviously it's, usually a handful. And I think the last couple recruiting classes have been fantastic. And coming off a very, very good spring, we had a nice scrimmages down at IU Kokomo, and we tied Kokomo, lost to IU East 2-1, but beat IU Columbus 2-1, and then beat IU Northwest 4-1, which was awesome. So we're coming off a great spring, and then with a new group coming in, very excited. Good athletic group that just bring a wide variety of different tools to the team. Great attitude. We just got our first couple practices in. I'm very, very excited.
Well, and you talk about those new players. I mean, 9 freshmen incoming, and even some transfers that came in, and obviously we'll talk to a couple of those players here in a little bit. But I think what I'm just so impressed with, 22 players. Coach, I remember being with this program when you barely had enough to field 11. Just talk a little bit about the growth. You probably, of all the coaches that we work with, you have been the best with just overall recruiting, and especially in different parts of the Midwest or around the country. And that takes a lot out. To get 9 freshmen coming in, that just speaks volume to it. When you're talking to these recruits, talk a little bit about what your pitch is to them, because the matter of fact is there's a lot of really great opportunities, and to be with a program that always feels like it's up and coming.
I think the beauty is the Indiana University degree first and foremost. And we have a couple players not on our roster this year. Haley Marsh is a radiography major that is probably making triple what I'm making right here. No offense to her. But here she is working in the X-ray unit in Columbus, Ohio, finishing up her classes. Jordan Aiello, one of our goalkeepers. She's in accounting, and she's just got a wonderful internship that's going to hire her on full time. So you look at what the opportunity, and they're even graduating early, which is incredible. The degree, we have a couple dental hygiene majors that got into the program last year, very, very competitive. Jocelyn Miller and Erica Thackeray. It was great having a conversation with them. Hey, Coach, we got in the dental hygiene, and Mallory does an incredible job over there, and obviously their earning potential and their what they're doing with their degree, and here they are, came in as freshmen last year. Now they're pretty much all set up to what they're doing professionally. And then, just the feel of the vibe of the team, hardworking. We're getting some wonderful players from Western Indiana, but then we have from Illinois to Michigan, and then we have some solid recruits coming in from Ohio and other places, Indianapolis area as well. Excited with that. But it's been a progression, and, just a little patience. And, like I said, last spring was a great indicator. And then with this group coming in after a couple practice sessions, just love the attitude and energy. Very professional, very hardworking, and just a great group of kids. Can't wait for the season.
And then, Coach, we already mentioned the 3 players that were going to be coming in, but you got Riley Cotton, you're going to have Alexis Chichester, and Olivia Enyard, who is also going to be coming in, and just such a great group right there, because Riley Kahn we've known since we did some of her high school games when she was a Hobart Bricky during her time between the pipes. Alex Chichester, she has really come onto the scene after coming back after her time at Lake Michigan College. And Olivia Enyard, what can you say, as a freshman, earning second-team all-conference in the CCAC, your first ever player that earned that recognition. Just talk a little bit about those 3, as well as a couple other players that really are important, and every single one is, obviously. You have players like Anna Estrada, who's been here through the entire program. But talk a little bit about just the players and their buy into the program. They know that it may not be the winning program like some, but what it is a team that it feels like every single year they get better, and this year it feels like there's going to be a lot more expectations than your first year here.
Yeah, I think it starts with Riley Cotton, tremendous goalkeeper, comes in with all the tools, that somebody that has battled through adversity, but I don't think you're going to find three finer human beings, and it was great. A couple of the freshmen, it's like, man, I love Riley, I love Alex, two of our seniors, and then obviously Olivia, her play on the field kind of stands out by itself. But just, and I think as you're, especially coaching, I think female athletes, it's very important. Obviously, talent is very good, but just the type of person they are, and I think one of the biggest reasons, especially when we have our ID camps, they get around people like that. It's basically, let's throw the record out the window. It's like it doesn't matter. Obviously, these players have a vision. They're getting a great education, but they believe in something that's greater than themselves, and they bring that every single day to practice, just their honesty, hard work, and dedication, and then it builds into something wonderful. And I think this class is a testament to all three of them. Alex, can fit in immediately, pretty much played every single minute of every single game. Then obviously Olivia with her excellence, making all conference. And it's a 13 team. It's a great conference. Sometimes it's tough to make it in any conference, but then when you have double the teams that most conferences have, which makes it even more incredible, really got handed to the coaches that, can recognize, Olivia's talent throughout the year on her second team, because it's not easy. But it's, I just think their ability to have a little bit of patience, which is tough, in the land of instant gratification. But, I think they understand kind of where we're at, where we're going. And it's got to, give them all the credit to keep working hard. And they're doing it. Like I said, they're the great human beings.
And then, Coach, we look at your schedule. We look from last season, 3-14-1, 1-10 in the conference. And you look at some of the teams. You start off with Huntington, looking forward to doing that game. Then Great Lakes Christian, Alma, Manchester, and then Albion and Anderson before you get ready for conference play. And obviously, when you got your teams like Albert Nazarene, like Holy Cross, like St. Ambrose, those are three teams that really are always going to at least contend to host. And what do you take from last season? Because there were moments where even if the score wasn't the outcome in the final like you had wanted, it still felt like there was great communication. It felt like the players were where they needed to be. And once they were able to get some shots, I told you the stat before we went on air, you guys scored 23 goals, which if you take every season prior to that and combine it, that is how many goals that had. So the scoring is certainly going in the right direction. But what else from last year were you most impressed with that you're looking forward to building off of for this 2025 campaign?
I think early on in the season, here we have we're playing St. Francis, one of the top teams out of Illinois, one of the top teams, and they score 2 goals. And then Olivia puts in a Lionel Messi type goal in the upper corner on a free kick. And just think it's 2-1 with an undefeated team in the conference. Had a great season, well coached. And to have a team like that on the ropes, I always tell them, then they scored a nice goal late. It's like that goal's on me. It's like I want us pushing up. I want us getting opportunities. And I think pretty much when you look at shots on goal, obviously the goals increased, but the shots on goal, it was nice to play a lot more soccer with teams. But to have a team like that 2-1 in 70th odd minute was tremendous. Then I look at we're playing away at Trinity Christian. Here it is, a cold day on a Wednesday. The turf is slick. It's weather's blaring. It's a very slippery surface. And we hit the post a couple times. It's 0-0 going late into that game. And then they score a goal, so 1-0. And then they go on to win the Christian National Championship. So here's a team that's, 1-0 or 2-1, 3-1. And then, there's some other games where we just can't compete in the sense of over 90 minutes where you have teams with 25, 30 players that have played at the highest level. So for us to at least compete, sometimes it was for a half game, sometimes it was for the full game. I even think at the end of last year, I remember talking to Livy, it's like, man, we're starting to click. We're starting to figure it out. We had a lot of underclassmen, and I wish we had a few more games. It's like we're just starting to get going. And then obviously we got to be patient, but then you look at, this class coming, it's like, okay, now the time's come, and, just take off, kind of where we left off last year.
Coach, it feels like whenever we're at Beef O'Brady's, whether we're at Newton Park itself, one thing we always like to do is give Newton Park a shout-out. They have been so good to you since you started with. I mean, they're great with accommodating us. The concession stand is always fantastic. Just the overall, getting the field ready for you guys. I mean, that is at a great price. I know you've talked about that. Just talk a little bit, and as we always like to do, talk about why Newton Park is such a great opportunity for you. I mean, not many places would, but they have certainly been a true great home for your team.
When I look at it, and sometimes is it on campus? No, but you know what? A lot of the facilities aren't on campus, and it's just the way it is. And I think with the university, we're working on it. But when you have a place, I think it's about 8.5 miles away, so that's not very far. But Newton Park has been, grass facility. I think 90% of our games are on grass. You look at the less likelihood of ACLs to concussions, it rises dramatically. And if we were to play on turf right now, you add 25 to 50 degrees, so it's beautiful natural grass. The place for kids, and they just take care of everybody to the highest level, with that. And also, from the playing conditions to the, it's first class. They're cutting the field, they're lining it, before we get there. But then also one of our community service projects is the trunk or treat, and it's neat where they have a lot of the town kids coming in, thousands. We prepare for like 2,500, and just the way they treat the community, Lake LaVille High School, it is one of the top places to play, and a lot of the top high schools in another week or two, all the great teams from Indiana are going to be playing there, so everybody knows and everybody's played, some of their best soccer there.
Coach, when you just take a look from when you first started this program, and you've said it before, you play a couple games, then COVID happens, and then you're slowly trying to get it to rebuild. Just seeing, and I know the wins, you'd like to see more, I know the players like to see more, but just seeing the growth and maturity of this program and the players who then eventually look at some that have come back and just wanted to see this team continue to succeed. From your very first time you stepped on this campus to right now when we're doing this interview, what's the thing that you are most proud of with this program and IU South Bend in general? This has been a place that a lot of players can call home, get a great education, and get a great opportunity to play collegiate level soccer.
Yeah, I just think just the belief of the players, especially the upperclassmen, putting a lot of time, effort, and energy trying to follow, the script of, hey, let's get better every day, and then let's also, how far can we take this program? And it's just the persistence. Like I said, in the era of instant gratification, they're doing amazing things, and a lot of the recruits in this we build, it's a testament of those players that are already on campus. It's like, hey, great group coming in, but it's like, hey, I want to be a part of this group. They're great kids. They're wonderful student athletes, and this program is going to do great things. And I don't want to put any pressure on our upperclassmen here, but looking forward to a great season.
And Coach, trying to give you a wrap up here. It's a fill in the blank. It's an open-ended question, so here it is. The IU South Bend Titans women's soccer team is going to have a great season because this. What is the this? Why are the Titans going to have a great season?
I tell you what, from the meetings, from practices, we've met only a small handful locked in, and the attitude and energy is first class. So I think we're going to be very difficult for the other teams, our opponents.
Well, Coach Barnes, as always, we're probably going to chat at Beef O'Brady's at some point. We're looking forward to all the home games, as always. We appreciate you taking time to do this, and we're looking forward to more IU South Bend women's soccer this upcoming season.
Thanks, my brother. Have a great one.
Looking forward to more IU South Bend women's soccer. You can catch that in all the games from Newton Park and Lakeville, Indiana. We're going to have plenty of more interviews coming up here with all the players, and we'll have that coming up here right after this here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.